All right, y'all. What it is, what it do? It is your girl Joanne Nicholas commentary, and I am back with another video. It has been a minute since y'all have gotten a video from me, and yeah, we're just basically going to be talking about these mommies and we're just gonna touch base with CJ So Cool. In the past couple weeks, I've been monitoring, watching how certain stuff is going in these industries, so that I could give my fair judgment. And let's just say, yeah, let's just say that I have not been in any way, shape, or form pleased with what is going on. Okay. So, looking for something real quick. Hold on, y'all. Alright, y'all. So, first things first, as a young individual who is looking to my mom and explore the world of parenting, there are just parents you don't look up to. They're defend because at the end of the day, you're defending that parent. That parent is an amazing mom. It makes no sense. We have instances. Oh, why is this doing that? Hold on, y'all. They keep reconnecting. I literally have nothing open right now. Who keeps deleting that? Amy, there's me. I think I have it now, so it should stop reconnecting. Alright. Mic check, mic check. Hopefully, okay. Alright. So, as you could tell by the title, we are going to be talking about mommy's neglect And we're going to be touching a little bit on CJ So Cool. Alright, so okay. So first things first, we're definitely going to be reading the Fair Use app that allows me to use content for educational purposes and purposes of commentary. Fair use is a legal doctrine that allows copyrighted material without the copyrighted material's permission to be used in certain circumstances. Fair use is based on the idea that the public has the right to use copyrighted material for criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research. And in today's video, we're going to be using content overview for educational purposes and just to use as proof that not all individuals are fit to be parents. So the conversation could go two ways. The daddies have blame for their kids being neglected, given that some aren't active, and then it could go the other way where the mommies can do better by getting a job and stuff like that. Now, a lot of us have to tend to be inconsiderate to the fact that a lot of mommies aren't educationally inclined to understand how we understand the situation. So we don't tend to get through to certain parents or certain categories of parents. Um, Hi Miss Myers. Hope you're having an amazing rest of your Saturday because it's the afternoon. But like I said, it could go two ways. So let us begin the commentary. CJ So Cool, mommy vloggers, and parental neglect. Let us take a deep dive. According to MDS, MCObserver.com, parents who film their family life for YouTube or social media can face scrutiny when content edges into exploitation. Welfare experts warn that chronic bare minimum parenting or pranks that distress children may sorry may cross into neglect or abuse. This report explains what parental neglect legally means, examining viral controversies like CJ So Cool laxative prank, explores the psychological effects on children, and surveys how audiences and authorities are reacting. Many have even been dubbed. Some of these, many have even dubbed some of these cases a crisis of child exploitation online. So, first things first, we always have to have a definition because a lot of us will say we understand what child exploitation is and what it does to a child, but do we really understand what it is? So, Let us define parental neglect. It falls under three categories, and these categories are basic needs, legally neglect occurs when a parent, caregiver, or provider willfully omits providing a child with essentials such as adequate food, clothing, shelter, or medical care. U.S. courts explicitly list failures to supply necessary care as neglect, and the California Penal Code 270 is an example of such law. So, my thing is, right, we have all these laws protecting children, yet still, why do we still have hair on YouTube? And we usually tend to see the bashing of the mom here on YouTube, on social media, because a mom isn't supposed to dress a certain way, blah blah, skippy. Women on a general note, tends to get bashed for how they go about doing things. All these laws are present, all these advocates are advocating, but what is the end result? A lot of men get away with abuse. A lot of women get away with abuse and feel empowered to do it all over again, such as in the case of CJ Soku. A lot of y'all will come and be like, CJ did not do anything wrong in my eyes. Jalea is lying. Royalty is coaching her kids to say what they say about her. But from time again, it has proven that something was wrong is wrong in that man's house. Too much of us will defend CJ and be like, he didn't do it. And while neither the guilty or innocent side can be proven, the presence of social media states and shows otherwise. Another thing that is also considered child neglect is the education and supervision part. A lot of people think having a child travel constantly is a good form of is a good form of supervision for said child. And the reality of it is children need stability. Children need a form of, okay, I'm living in Nevada, my daddy lives in New York. My advice would be, even though keeping that child away from said parent for too long is an advice, to just be move the child permanently to one parent and have the child visit said parent during summer. Because the constant change of schools and what have you not, or having a child in one school and having her exposed to something different in another state, in my opinion, can be not such a healthy thing. But if two parents are separated living in different states, my advice would be to just let the child pick which parent you want to live with. not the parent who give him or her free ability to do what they want, but the parent who will be able to enforce the rules and keep constant communication. A lot of times we have a lot of parents who say they could keep effective communication, but need the help of a child support app website that is present in the US law to communicate between each other. And that form of communication, in my eyes, ain't effective at all. All right. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, leave your opinions down in the comments, and you can leave your opinions now as we are live because your opinions are greatly appreciated. But let's get to the bigger part of it because homeschooling is not neglect. And in the case of CJ So Cool, in the case of these neglectful mommy on YouTube, they need to understand that, right? So emotional support and education and supervision goes hand in hand due to the fact that a lot of parents today uses homeschooling as a weapon to attack the other parent who has the kids homeschooled as a way to say they're not good parents. In my opinion, hold on, y'all. I'm looking for something. Looking for something. All right, y'all. So I'm back. So a lot of time we think that the stuff we do for our kids are always necessarily the right stuff, not taking into consideration the emotional damage that it could serve on said child. Already, a lot of times kids are bullied in school. Kids are bullied socially, social wise. I was about to say socially wise, social wise. So if a child says comes to you now, I am so for kids being open. I am so for kids coming to a mother and being like, "Mom, I went to school today. I don't feel like going on Monday. I don't feel like going to school on Monday." Now, some children will have the upstairs to say, "All right, I am going to actively keep up with my academics because academics is where it's at." And a lot of children are just not gonna do that. And it's your duty as a parent to say, "I am going to be after my kids so that they do their damn homework." Now, hi Miss Michelle. Now, parents like CJ So Cool will not do that. He clearly uses his kids for social media purposes. Now, the mommies who claim they got their kids enrolled in school, they do everything from looking for another man to add to the household to, I don't know, these mommies, these daddies nowadays that are being exposed. dogs, whatever, they history of being with criminals and doing this crazy stuff really irks me. It really, really irks me and leads me to wonder why. Because constantly bringing men, women into your child's life, into your household, is not safe, in my opinion, for any child. Alright? So, neglect also includes not ensuring a child's education and safety. For example, allowing a young child to chronically miss school can legally be classified as neglect. Leaving a child unsupervised for dangerous lengths of time likewise falls under neglect. Beyond physical care, emotional neglect is recognized too. Chronic emotional abuse, such as shouting behind your child. A lot of us parents, we always tend to shout behind our child, shout in front of our child, and do the most craziest things around our children. And it puzzles me as to how, when scrolling through TikTok or scrolling through YouTube, a lot of people praise that as correcting the generation. Are we really correcting the generation? Are we making things worse? Are we just not understanding? What are we really doing? Basically, I say all this in short. By just doing the bare minimum for a child's well-being, risk falling under the neglect of the law. So, what is the bare minimum in relation to social media? Right now I am going to be playing it right now so that you can see what I am talking about when it comes to neglect of kids. Saying I ain't taking my kids to the doctor because I don't believe in it. That is okay. This mommy is classified as a parenting failure. For those of y'all who do not know Shanika Grant, she is a mommy in these YouTube streets who basically of her actively neglecting her kids. Alright, so let me play you this short from Mika, and she titled it Tiny Snack Pack What Extra Chips All Day Long. Alright, here we go, y'all. So this is basically what Mika made for her kids. Now she constantly, y'all could leave y'all opinion heavy in the comments. She, I have been keeping the memes, and I needed a break. I needed a break. I've just been observing. I have observed a lot, and this is one of it. Now this seems something like a neglectful father would do. Okay, this seems like something a father who is trying, but he just can't figure it out. Mamas, a lot of mamas. I Betty, a lot of mamas in today's society know how to cook. Unless they're extremely young and they want to experience a man taking care of them or whatever have you not. A lot of us young people know how to cook. And Lord, tell me what
Snack pack here after dinner.
I let me know if you're green. I gotta turn off that night. But let me know if you guys could see the screen. I gotta change my nightbox settings again.
Somebody somebody
So in hindsight, what would you as a grandma, as a mom, as a older sibling, because in every good there is an older sibling, the oldest of all her kids. What would you put in a snack pack? What would you do a melody of fruits or whatever in a snack pack versus fully junk? What exactly would you guys do? Give me 1 minute, y'all. All right, I'm back. I'm back. So we're going is the whole bare minimum with mommies and their content trend. That is what that video kind of led into. Um, the things we also gotta understand, the things that we put in our bodies, likewise for our kids. The things we put in our body affects our kids to the extent of their focus in school, academics, and the overall well-being. My snack pack would have had an assortment of fruits. I don't eat vegetables. So for the most, carrot sticks, celery, but it would have a lot of fruits. Right, y'all? Y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. She had airheads, she had conchas, she had lollipops. Now, everything we eat, everything we consume has sugar. It needs to be a balance. All right, it needs to be a balance. All right. So we have some influencers who have even been spiteful, jokeful about being the most bare minimalistic human being parent that you can find. Okay, and they provide examples such as posting trivia updates like I fed the baby lunch or only managing one household task a day as proof that they do post, that they do the bare minimum. All right. It tells me how. Hold on, everyone around here. Hold on, y'all. Wait, I gotta. All right. It baffles me. And people will be in the comments talking about this is a great idea. And a lot of y'all will be in these mommies comments talking about their ideas are good. Well, that you're not gonna do half of what these mommies do. Okay. Now, here in the Caribbean, you will be drinking coconut water. A lot of times, the moms allow you to consume a lot of sugar. Like, it would be very rare in a Caribbean household for you to consume the amount of sugar I see these mommies pumping into the kids' blood. A lot of critics, a lot of us react. A lot of us do take it personal and we do worry. I personally have gotten to a point where a lot of my advice was taken for disrespect. And now I personally don't care. Either you take the advice or you don't. And sweep whatever hatred you have for me under the rug. Okay? At the end of the day, there is light. And the truth will always reveal itself. If the Lord finds that you are not neglecting your kids, then he shall say you aren't neglecting your kids. Y'all understanding where I'm coming from? At the end of the day, the we do or have a lot of the things that we say think to have good intentions. Don't. It doesn't. Now, we have to recall that providing only a few chores or neglecting supervision can be neglect. For instance, Cornell's legal encyclopedia notes that willfully failing to furnish food or give a child medicine. Now, a lot of parents on these YouTube streets The child will be sick. Mommy, I don't feel good. Mommy, I feel sick. Mommy, I'm tired. And these parents will not do anything to help these kids. That is neglect. All right. That is neglect. And I don't know how to put it no more without it, without me sounding insensitive. No matter what we say, it will always sound or be insensitive. I believe CJ is so cool, for example, wants to be canoodled and wants to convince himself that what he is doing is the right thing for Kamari, for himself. Royalty in his head should have just stayed. In CJ's mind, we are hurting his family because we are not allowing him to live the fantasy that he wants to live. And at the end of the day, as human beings, I'm young. I have my whole life ahead of me. A lot of these mothers, a lot of these reactors, we getting older. We ain't staying young for long. A lot of us are in our late 30s, going into the 40s and above. And we cannot accept when we're wrong. And we cannot accept the fact that certain people who played in our faces that we look up to behind a screen does that. And a lot of people could argue the facts that that these are harsh reality. But no matter whether the truth is harsh or not, trust me, the truth needs to be heard. The truth needs heard. We cannot be canoodling these mommies, and we definitely cannot be canoodling a grown ass man to believe the things doing is right. It irks my it irks my butt to know that accept the fact that these mommies ain't shit. But yet still we try to find the good in what they do. Okay? And the sad reality of it is there is honestly nothing we could do. There is honestly nothing thing we could do to get allow people to have an understanding of where we are coming from. Okay, it has gotten to a point where a lot of the younger generation will not take the advice that the older generation gives them because what the fuck is we tell these younger generation? They are a child. They in a child's place. You're a youngling. You a teenager. You ain't hit adult yet to be making these kind of decisions that you're making. The only decision a teenager ain't supposed to make. Just leaving my teenage years. I'm 21. So 21 minus 3. That's 17. 21 minus 2. That's somebody who just recently left their teenage years. I'm 22 and I'm and I could say the only decision that I shouldn't be allowed to make is the decision of having a boyfriend and the time that I'm in my 30s. But activities that I leave to go do. That is where open communication comes hand in hand. You feel me? I hope y'all listening. Y'all. I hope y'all listening. I just hope y'all listening. I, I, I just hope y'all are listening. Okay? Testing, testing, testing. Okay, we good, we good. It might have a echo. Testing, testing, uh, testing, uh, nope, testing, testing. Alright, we're back. So at the end of the day, we just gotta understand that the world we living in is not the world we want for our kids. I say this to say that a lot of us need to stop being like, I don't want to hear it and listen to our kids. Okay? Hey, testing, 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 testing. Why does it have an echo? I have no idea. It wasn't like that before. Testing, 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 testing. Oh, there we go. The echo's gone. Sorry about that, yo. But yeah, at the end of the day, there are things that we just have to understand at the end of the day. It is what it is. It is the fact of the remainder, and the fact is that the parents we fucked up our kids' life. That is what we have to understand. We can't be like, baby, I know you want to get pregnant at 16. You don't gotta work. I'm gonna take care of you and my girl, baby. We cannot be like that. And I say we because a lot of times we end up in situations where we have to take care of our kids. Right? We are the ones that end up doing the very minimal for you feel me? The world is just a fucked up place. We gotta understand that the world is a fucked up place. Okay? Be honestly serious. We cannot be canoodling our kids into believing what they believe and what we're doing or saying as the adults. You know, it took me years. It took me years. But I tell you, it took me years to understand what my mama was telling me. It took me years. Oh, years, years, years. Okay, at the end of the day, y'all gotta grow and understand certain things that we do is just absurd. Now, news, in other news, we have CJ So Cool, the allegations and his coming up right now. Hi everyone. Once again, my name is Joanna Paul, and I will be reporting to you today some information I have gathered on CJ So Cool. All right, CJ So Cool, also known as Cordero James Brady, runs a family prank YouTube channel with millions of subscribers. In 2016, he posted a notorious video spiking his young children's ice cream with black. The children eating it unsuspectingly, then later are shown screaming in pain on camera. After public outcry, the video was removed and his channel was temporarily suspended. Investigators revealed that this prank was so extreme that the authorities had opened a case. Henderson, Nevada police and Child Protective Services investigated and even recommended criminal charges. We have key points to note that the laxative prank was in the ice cream video shared on CJ's channel. One boy cries, "My stomach hurts," 90 minutes after eating the drug. Commentators likened this to abuse. Courtney Pegram, an anti-child abuse expert, bluntly called it child abuse, child endangerment. When you do stuff like that and you think it's buried under the rug, trust me, people will find the information. A lot of people said, "Oh, it was just a harmless and careless prank." We have other stunts that CJ pulled. Okay, we have other stunts that CJ pulled, and in document media reports documenting other cruel pranks on the channel. In one, he pretended a child drowned. In another, he lit fireworks in a sleeping child's bedroom and laughed as they woke terrified. Now, that's a prank I see people doing, and it's not gonna be until somebody gets injured really bad for this prank to no longer be a prank. Okay, these two drew some intense scrutiny of CJ Sophie. The aftermath. YouTube ultimately removed the offending content and suspended CJ Sophie's monetization. YouTube later stated that content that endangers minors is unacceptable and pledged to take down material violating its child safety rules. CJ So Cool has since restarted his channel and remains etched in his history are those insights. Okay, a lot of times all will tell me that saying certain things are highly, highly judgmental of me. Let's get to how this affected his kids at the time. He claimed Royalty Johnson, the mother of said kids, Kamari, Leon, Julia, and Carnation as his own. Now, at that time, Royalty was more of a mother to his daughter, biologically Kamari, than is her own mother, 19 years. So, according to child psychologists, they warn that such stunts and content filming can damage as young participants, even though they look or may have seemed willingly, willingly participate in those activities. Okay, DJ is just. That's all I can say. All right, pranks that cause real pain of fear, laxative, fake drowning, leave kids crying and confused. For example, in one Daddy 05 prank, a 2017 case, parents blamed the child for a mess he did to make. The child screamed and cried as his parents yelled, and eventually the family temporarily lost custody of two kids due to the ensuing child abuse investigation. Similarly, CJ's laxative victims are physically sick and in tears on camera. These episodes can shatter our trust of sense of safety and shatter our sense of trust. Alright? A lot of times we don't think about how the things we do affects us. We don't care, to be honest. We just do it because we get paid for it. Alright? The long term effects that it could have on the kids of is bullying. CJ publicly said to Leon, go and harass her royalty. Go and harass royalty. And He willingly told people, knowing at the time that a lot of people did not like her, go stalk and harass these kids. And nobody could tell me that CJ was sane for that shit. None whatsoever. None. 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 Bothers me to this day. It, that a lot of us think this is normal. A lot of it bothers me think that we consider normal as normal behavior. It bothers me. Think a lot of us enjoy watching them come. Alright. Alright. Privacy is gone when we allow for kids to constantly see this. It's gone when we allow our kids to constantly see this. There is no what but wow. We all gotta grow slowly and look back at anything that we do on media is in our history. Alright? A lot of outrage on social media, such as there was overwhelmingly condemned the pranks as abusive and neglectful. After cases like Micah Stoffers, the rehoming movement, online backlash was swift and unforgiving, accusing the family of exploiting the childhood trauma for abuse. Explaining the child's trauma to me. Hashtags like toxic parenting and child exploitation trended as people debated debated over whether are entertainment for abuse. Platform policies, platform policies, sorry, platform policies for platforms such as YouTube and other sites explicitly ban endangerment. After the laxative and similar practices, YouTube affirmed that it has strict parenting policies. Okay. All right, y'all. I don't find that these policies are being established. Some governments are responding with new laws. In California, SB 764 now enforces influence to hold a portion of children's earnings in a trust. Other states like Illinois, Minnesota have passed similar influences statuses. These laws aim to protect children from financial and other exploitation by parents' channels. Expert warrants child welfare emphasizes responsibility because a lot of them don't take it. The prosecutor in the Ruby Frankie case, the eight passenger flight, said it highlights an unsung crisis of child exploitation and family lawsuits. Expert urges that parents prioritize children's welfare over abuse, even if that means keeping a virus like that. So I say all of this to say that family involvement sits in a kind of gray area. It sits in a kind of gray area. Like, why? What is the answer? What is the exploit your community? Like, let's talk about it. While many channels document loving family moments, what goes on behind this? These are my final thoughts on the situation. One has, but I will be diving deeper into the whole just local situation. Like then, like, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.